Hello, my name is Andy and I am the village idiot, and a man with a car and a GoPro and an unhealthy amount of time on my hands. Welcome back to North Yorkshire and welcome back to the district of Selby. Now, this video may well be one of the shortest ones I've ever filmed, and that's because this parish is pretty much all farmland apart from one very interesting feature. And to get to that feature, I need to go up a small footpath behind those trees and over this river and opposite the Crooked Billet pub, which you would have seen at the end of the last Selby video, Saxton with Scarthingwell. Now that footpath leads to a church, an historic church. Let's go and see what that church looks like. It's pretty much the only feature in the parish of Lead. Lead. This is one of Selby's smallest parishes. It covers an area of just 4.2 square kilometres in the west of the district, close to the border with the City of Leeds. The only notable features here are a chapel and this beck, which we saw at the end of the Saxton with Scarthingwell episode, named Cock Beck. The field in front of us here was once the site of a complex of buildings, roadways, water management features and farmland, all centred on a timber-framed manor house. This is the former site of the village of Lead. All that survives of the former medieval village is a small chapel, St Mary's. Lead is first mentioned in the Domesday Book of 1086. The entry for Lead mentions a pre-conquest landowner called Gunnar, a name that suggests Viking ancestry. At the time of the survey, Lead belonged to Ilbert de Lacy, who was supposed to have fought for William at the Battle of Hastings. So in front of me here is an information board about Lead and about the medieval village that once stood on this site. So as normal, when I find one of these information boards, I'll take some shots of this, because the information you find on these things is absolutely amazing at times, and it saves me a job. It saves me researching stuff on the internet, which is not always correct. The exact layout of the medieval village is not fully understood, but it probably developed in a somewhat organic way over the years. It was dominated by a manor house, which probably stood to the west of the chapel. To the south of the manor house were other structures, which may be interpreted as kitchens or farm buildings. So even though the church is pretty much the only feature in this one, there are a few houses dotted around. There's an isolated farm building up into the north, there's the odd house here and there. So it doesn't have a population of 0, but it's certainly got quite the population of sheep. There you go. The present chapel was once much grander, having stained glass windows and a chancel that extended 7 metres beyond its present east wall. It may have been the only stone building in Lead. Along with the manor house, it displayed the wealth and prestige of the lords and the manor, providing them with a place to express their piety and bury their dead. The Tadcaster family were lords of the manor here in the 13th and 14th centuries. 3 members of this family are commemorated in inscriptions on grave slabs inside the chapel. They were succeeded by the Scargills, who owned the site at the time of the Battle of Towton, which took place in the fields between Saxton and Towton on the 29th of March 1461. The Scargills are known to have enclosed farmland at Lead to create a park for hunting. The effect of the battle on Lead is not recorded. Some medieval manor houses had a moat or other fortifications. Lead did not, so its strategic importance was probably negligible. It's unknown what caused Lead to be deserted. The last recorded resident of the manor house was Sir Robert Scargill, who died in 1531, and by the end of the same century, the chapel was in ruins. So it's a little disappointing that the church is actually locked at the moment, so I can't get in it, but it would have been nice to actually have a look inside this one, I think, because it's so unique, standing in the middle of this field. One of those houses I was talking about in this parish is just there behind those trees. Quite a grand looking house actually, but of course it's on a private land, so I wouldn't be able to get anywhere close to that to really include it in the video. But I just want to make the point that the church is not the only thing here. It's the main feature, but there are people that actually live in Lead. But there can't be many more than about 10, I wouldn't have thought, especially if you look at the map, because the map does show pretty much all fields and not much else apart from this church. So there you go. There's not really much point putting you a picture bit in this video either, because there isn't really much more to tell you about Lead, to be honest with you. I think I've covered it all. And there you go then. That's another one down in Selby, a very easy one for me today, and I'll move on to my next one. Okay, this has been the Parish of Lead, and I've been Andy, otherwise known as the Village Idiot, and I'm out. I almost forgot, I haven't left a card anywhere. The best place I think to put one is here on this bench donated by the Friends of Lead Church, because I imagine that people do come here quite a lot to have a look at this place, so they'll see that if they have a perch on this bench. There we go, Lead officially visited. See you later, guys.